presentation on the SQL keywords insert, select, update, and delete. Okay, what do these keywords affect? So they are DML statements, which means that they affect the data that is in a database. So we may not create a table with these statements, but we can affect data inside of a table with these statements. And that's just one example of how you can use them. Okay, so insert. The syntax we can see. We'll say insert the table into the table name and then the values. And the values must be in the same order as the columns in the table. And the insert keyword inserts a new row into the table. All right, and then the select statement, or the select keyword, doesn't affect the data in the database. It only displays the values that you ask for. And you can use the star symbol to select all values. The update keyword will update all the values that you want to affect in the column that you select inside of the table that you need. And then one common pitfall to avoid is that if you're trying to update only one value, you definitely should make sure to use the where keyword so that you don't affect the entire column. And then delete. Delete will remove data from the database, and you want to be careful with the where statement as well, or the where keyword, so that you don't end up dating a lot of rows or a set of data. All right, so now that we've learned a little bit about the basic SQL keywords, we can go ahead and start to use them. So here you can see that I've created a table. And here are the items in the table. I have an ID, name, and age in there. So let's get to coding. Alright, so now that we're in the SQL portion of the teams, we can go ahead and start using our statements. So the first one I'm going to run is select all from teams. I'm going to go ahead and select go. Alright, and it says it returned an empty rule set or result set. And we have no data in our table as of yet. So what we'll go ahead and do is start with an insert statement. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and say insert into teams. And we go ahead and define ID, name, age. Go ahead and say values. And then for the first one, we're going to go ahead and say default, because it's automatically incrementing anyways. That's the ID number. And then we'll go ahead and say the name can be John, and his age is 23, let's say. Okay. So we'll go ahead and hit go. Also, it says it's one row inserted, and then we can see that we do have John here. So we'll go ahead and insert one more person. So we'll go ahead and insert Sam, and he will be 27 years old. Okay, we'll go ahead and hit go, and now if we select all from teams, we can see we have both John and Sam with their respective ages. Now, if we want to say select not just all, but something less general, we can go ahead and say, get rid of this since we've already inserted that. So select age. If from teams. Let's see what that would give us. Okay, looks like we have just the ages here, so that's a good way to see what age values we have in teams. And then if we wanted to add the where statement, we can go ahead and say where age equals 27. Or let's go ahead and say select name from teams where age equals 27. Let's see what that gives us. Okay, so it looks like the person who is 27 is Sam. And that is correct. Awesome. So we can go ahead and say, let's say we want to update Sam's age to 28 manually. So we'll go ahead and say update. Teams set age equals to 28, where name equals Sam. And then we'll go ahead and say select all from teams again so we can actually see what's going on. Go ahead and say go. And it looks like Sam's age has indeed been updated to 28. Alright, and then now we can go ahead and use our last statement, which is delete. So we'll go ahead and say that we want to delete from teams where age equals 28. Alright. Let's hit go. Okay. And now when we've selected all values from teams, it comes out with only John. So that's just a quick example of how to use these statements. Hopefully you learned a lot, and we'll see you next time.